Hello, today I'd like to just show off a little discovery I've made in the way BeamNG calculates Aero. I don't know, it may be commonly known or whatever, but I found it interesting nevertheless. Basically, I was using the default truck to do some speed runs, and I was just trying to see like the effects of changing bits of it to see just how quickly I could go. And I noticed something interesting, so we're just going to put it on the drag and lift debug thing. I'm just going to stick it in drive and do a speed run on this. Ignore my slightly wonky positioning. So if you've never seen this before, basically the red lines are drag, the blue lines is lift, which, you know, downforce as well. Just ignore the blue lines for now. The red lines are the only ones that are going to matter in this video. And you can see that, you know, as speed increases, drag increases, and whatever, right? So the way that it does it is it calculates the drag on each individual point, right? So you see those yellow lines across the car. Those are the points that it picks to measure drag from, which is fine, right? It's kind of like in Formula 1, they use those Aero rakes in testing. If you've never seen them before, they basically put these big grills on the side of the car, and they have like a piece on them to measure the airspeed going through. It's a similar thing to that, essentially. So in itself it's not bad, and to be honest, most of the time it would be perfectly acceptable to have that. You know, in most racing games you could just have the calculations like that to measure drag, and it makes sense. After all, this pickup has about 220 horsepower, and I believe it actually tops out at about 111 or something. We'll stop here. But yeah, the issue is BeamNG, it has a lot of things you can do to it. So for example, if we just pause it as well so we load quicker, like for example, what's a change that would actually increase drag in real life? I don't know, something like let's play out the windscreen. Windshield, empty. Load that in. Give it a moment. So we do another speed run. Well, we were struggling to get past 110 before. But you'll notice now there's no yellow points on where the windscreen is, and the game does nothing to like try and counteract that. Like, it doesn't increase the drag of points measured behind it, or at least I don't think it does. So we've removed what, probably about 3 points or something across the windscreen. I wasn't really paying attention, but they're gone. So now it isn't measuring drag there, and it's kind of an issue that I didn't take it to its top speed, but I guess you'll just have to trust me or experiment yourself on this. We're going a lot quick. We're accelerating at a decently quick pace. And I know it isn't a weight thing, before anyone tries to say that. Weight has very little effect on top speed. Tried in basically any other game like this. If you do weight reduction to a car, it doesn't really increase top speed, because drag is just such a big force once you get to high speed that the weight of a car just doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can see that it's only a couple mile an hour, but it is definitely accelerating just a bit better than it was before. Right? So let's get extreme with this. So in the end, we're left with this, and I'd just like to prove the engine is completely stock. I haven't done anything to the transmission. You can see it's all the stock parts. If I go to tuning, there's nothing there. This is what we're working with. Just absolutely nothing. Can I? No, I can't change gear with the menu open. That's a problem. Well, I don't know. You'll just have to take my word for it, I guess. But yeah, so we've totally scripted it, and you can see now there's very little points where it's actually measuring drag from, right? So, yeah, already we're doing 100. Now, it still weighs about 1,400 kilos, I think, from this, so it's not as if it's like, you know, 400 kilograms or whatever. It's still decently heavy. So, you know, even though, like, weight does make a slight difference to top speed, you can't just argue that it's ridiculously low weight. This is purely just a lack of points where it's measuring drag from. So, I mean, I'm not an expert in aerodynamics. Maybe this would end up being quite an aerodynamic shape. I have the feeling, though, that you'd get quite a lot of messy air just coming off of the wheels and things like that, and the tyres being open wheel mean that you can get loads of messy air from that. Interestingly, that's another point actually, the wheels. It doesn't really check to see if they're open wheel or not, so I'd imagine open wheelers in this game are kind of weirdly quick. We're still pulling as we get to 180, by the way. This is it's entertaining. To me at least, I don't know, I find this fascinating. The slight quirks in it. It's a shame I can't pull off the radiator, or at least that cover around it. I did do some runs without it, and you just overheat. Maybe if I was patient enough to wait for the engine to cool all the way down before doing a run, it'd be alright. But, yeah. We're about to hit 200 miles an hour on the speedo. And, yeah. There we go. 200 mile an hour wheel speed, and we're going to get very close to that on the airspeed. For those of you that use kilometres, that's about 320. There we go. Over 200 airspeed. You know, there's 220 horsepower, completely bone stock pickup with a 4-speed automatic, and a torque converter is going quicker than the Ferrari F40. Or it will do in a moment when it gets to 202 airspeed. Yeah, there we go. Just about ticking over. Yeah, just as we get to the dirt. And we'll end this in a nice crash. Neat that you can see all the lift and stuff going a bit crazy as it gets airtime. But yeah, there you go. That's just an interesting thing I've noticed. Maybe you'll be able to abuse this in certain ways. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to Boost and Ethanol for more of this if I am still doing videos. I don't know. And yeah, until next time, goodbye.